Hello and welcome, as it is the 20th day of November 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Chart channel. All bets, trades, and the like within each his own risk and their own reward. And we're going to leave off where I left before. I had shown the Bitcoin, the Litecoin, and the Ethereum chart. And I didn't mean to finish the video as I did. I meant to push the pause button and then transition into Ripple, which against the Bitcoin has been going through some serious declines as it had this level of support area here. The downtrend, all these lower lows, and then a bigger decline. And a lot of this is because, of course, the Bitcoin gain. As we take a look at, say, Ripple against the US dollar on the daily term time frame. It's 30 cents, and it's not only not in a downtrend, it's actually in an uptrend from these November lows, where Ripple lifted off from a support area around 23 cents, now at about 30 cents within the price action. And the level of resistance at around 26 cents almost got taken out on the 13th. A couple days of consolidating that level, two more up days, extending and making a new leg higher, and now testing amongst this previous level of resistance in which that it had from this level here. But on the weekly term time frame is where it gets very, very interesting. Big down move ever since that 2018 high. So what attempts have we had for Ripple to get this thing on a bull market within the weekly? Well, we come up and we hit this high. Support, fine, okay. Oh, attempt to get it, no, not so quite. And now not making and then not doing well with this low, resisting this little area in here, and then all of this time in the 18. Not really much of a decline. All it did was retest this level. Thus, another attempt come in. Attempt number 2. And on attempt number 2, didn't hold too well. And another leg lower. Resisting the 18, leg lower low. Attempt number 3. But instant fail. As we can see, comes up in here, 18 test, yep. And then failing the 18, not holding that support, another leg lower. 18 test, but it doesn't break down below the lows. And in another attempt in here. But what I'm liking about this so far is it breaks out on the 27th of July and has a decent gain above this level of resistance break on the April 27th highs. And then it's supporting those April 27th highs on this correctionary move, August 31st through that of November the 2nd. And then how it breaks out the previous period. Now it's exitation, leaving the 18. This to me looks like a very possible, dangerous, bullish setup, because when I went through all of those possibilities, all those previous ones, you get above the 18 here. How does it do on the 18? Yeah, not so good. You get above the 18, not so good. You get above the 18, not so good. You get above the 18, so good. At least that's what it's looking like right now. Now let's take a look at Tezos against Bitcoin. Same sort of deal, getting its ass kicked against the price. 0.30 is 1144. See, what I was doing a lot of times before, back in the days when Bitcoin was near 10,000, 10,400 or whatever, 10,200, you take the price, 1144, that means it was $1.11. Maybe it's Bitcoin's 11,000, so you had 10%. But again, a lot of this decline due to the fact of Bitcoin prices going really high. And it's just ripping through all of these key supports. It had a range from the time it was breaking out above it in February, a range of 2,400 up to above this 35. And it stayed that way until September. And it's been nothing but red candles. There's only been one green candle since August on the weekly. Markets go up, then they go back down. And I am very, very convinced. I don't know when this will stop going down. Maybe we come back and retest this 872 handle or 8,700 Satoshi. Wouldn't surprise me if we did, but also wouldn't surprise me if this thing shoots right back up later on as well. Take a look at Tezos on the daily term time frame, just continuation with a decline against Bitcoin and against the US dollar. It's in at $2.07. Now I've drew in some Fibonacci lines in here, for they represent the Fibonacci from this low and this high up in here. So 23.6% down, 38.2, and 61.8. Buck 49 is most certainly could be a possibility, but it's very interesting if it does or doesn't happen. Because if it does happen, okay, we'll see what happens. Test there, pierce below, wouldn't surprise me on top of that. And having solid support of some sort, that wouldn't surprise me as well again. But if this is a bottom and you need to stay, not only do you need to see the price action get and hold and stay above the key fib right around even 240, but get above the 18 average of highs, you start to see this have a good break above this level, and this is the only support, I'd be like, ooh, this is like possibility of that little failed breakdown below this level. I know it's just one of those things. I mean, it's the statement that's telling me on September 21st and again on October 26th that it's saying, yeah, it was going down to buck 49. And if it doesn't do it after saying it, it's just one of those wowzers kind of deal. But as far as any setups are concerned right now in the daily term chart, it's just consolidating, correcting. We've had this rally attempt on November 7th. Okay, it's just been staying within the 18 ever since. And until it doesn't, it's of course going to be in this band. As far as Theta against Bitcoin, it's had its decline from 7,400 down to, well, that of about 34. And we went through 1, 2, and this is the third Fibonacci line. Next one below that, and it very could easily go to that too, is the 2150 mark. And on the weekly chart, there's your gain, giving it back, gain. Really big give on back on this one. This one's corrected well within the 18, and then the excitation had a pretty good rally. Not much over this high, but it didn't have much time, this point in here, above like 3,500 or so. Here it spent significant time above these numbers, and of course now just at that area as support. And who knows how further it could come back down towards here, because that'd be a monthly chart. As I mentioned, you got the 18 average starting to rise in here. I think that's where the big play is going to be. But when you take a look again at these charts against Bitcoin, this is Theta against BTC on the daily. Let's take a look at against the dollar on the daily. And I have Fibonacci lines that I drew in a long time ago. And, well, interesting. I drew one in at 0.60508. I'm guessing, and it looks like Fibonacci when I look at it from my end. And as it goes, multiple levels of support that's been hitting here. And, well, this level of high, well, we're supporting this level of resistance. Oh, how do you do? See, you can take a look at the exact same market against two different currencies behind, dollar and the Bitcoin. And you get two totally different outlooks on the exact same thing, exact same market, which is very, very interesting. I think it's been a very productive uphold. So when you see a lot of these coins falling against Bitcoin, a lot of it can also be opportunity based, and you just see it how like what one currency will look like against just something doing very well. I can even show after this. I can just gold against Bitcoin, because it won't be doing so well. I haven't seen that in a little while, so I'll be interested to see that from that perspective. But just having a tremendous move, and it's basically holding around the Fibonacci mark, 61.8 cents or whatever, 62 cent level. So it's been holding this gain very, very well against the US dollar, which is very, very nice. So yeah, how about gold against Bitcoin? Or maybe even the price of Bitcoin against gold, I rather. 9.7. So here's a situation where we've had the high of the back in 2018. The ratio got up to about 15. And it's now a retest of this previous high. And pretty much a lot of the same thing. Bitcoin goes down against the dollar, builds a descending triangle. Then it has a move near the end of 2018. But it holds that move that it goes down to, which was Bitcoin 3,000. It holds it. This was a retest of the previous level, which is interesting. But a big gain, corrected. See, whatever Bitcoin does is going to lead this market until gold can do some crazy stuff. And there's no signs of that happening any time in the near term. And if Bitcoin goes way up against the dollar, it'll go up against gold. If it goes way down against the dollar, it'll go down against gold as well. Meaning if gold goes up or down, well, doesn't make a difference on the gold chart, as weird as that might sound. But that's because of the volatility of gold being so small compared to the volatility of Bitcoin. Let's continue back to some altcoins, and again, getting your ass kicked against the Bitcoin. Dash in here trading at 77 handle, now down the 46 handle. There's a decline going on all the way in here. up to the 18 average, spending a few days at the highs. Now it shifts down to the lows. At yesterday's session on the 19th, it lifted from it a little bit, pretty much to the 18 average of closes not shown. Still in the sideways consolidation, nothing to get too excited or even close like it's going to break out above here. It's got to get above 50-60 now, above this established resistance to be like, okay, maybe this can go. Maybe it can go and have a good move. But we look at Dash against the dollar, same time frame, and a little bit different. Here's a situation where we had this resistance both on October the 12th and for several days in the week after that. And then we have the support in here and even the support of yesterday and then November 18th matching this high. But more importantly, this support matching this resistance and then starting to break out above the established resistance on November the 17th. So I like the fact how you make a high, you correct that move successfully and make a new one like that. Maybe this thing is ready to break out and have a nice little gain, but I like over the last little while, like it's got the possibilities towards doing such. If you look at it like on the weekly chart, we got this high. It's still got a decent ways to go, but when these things go up, they can go up really, really fast at any given time. It could be the case. You can see just where it can even start from. This rally low down in here, high in here. This thing shot up well before this thing even got to the 18 average of lows at this point. Well, this thing has started this move, barely gotten above. It has the potential to do something like that. Not saying it will, but it started what could be a spot like that. That's why when I show on the daily term time frame, all it's saying to me is that it's got a good high probability from where I see this now. You go up, down, up, and it's down. That's probably going to at least have a move to this like 90 level. But that again, that's at least. It could be 190, it could be 110, it could be 120. But you always got to give it the benefit of the doubt for any of these crazy moves. And if we look back at even some of the history before that, because let's just see if we can. Okay, I see why. Pre-Binance days, like say calculated by Poloniex, maybe because it's been like so much more data. So if we look at this monthly chart this way, that's that spot before 2017. This was a $2.50 coin. And then it comes in and it has a move up to, let's just do some Fibonacci levels from, say, this low. This low is $1.59. I'll round it to. And it's going to be high divided by low. So in the high, we got 16, 17. That's just what a big number. And that's the thing about these volatilities. $80 right now. So that means $8 was a 23.76. Doesn't even go down to 8, of course. 22. What did 22 do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then 115. It's basically that was pure support. When I see something like this, I'm like, okay, maybe I should do the breakout lows. Maybe try that and see what happens. Like $1.93 I got, so $1.98. So let's just, don't know if it's going to make much of a change, but 333, 125 are the key numbers. So there's the 333, which works out in there. Yeah, that makes more sense. 125. I guess it's not much of a difference going below there. Yeah, I guess you could say it's been holding within this 125, but it's been resisting it this whole time. And this is what happens when you get the raw analysis before you even have the Fibonacci lines in here. But again, like I said with Teslas, this thing has been stating, okay, yeah, we're going to break down and go to the $26 handle mark. I mean, kind of didn't do it in here. I mean, had an attempt here and here. So if this thing get above the 18 average of highs, I guess if you see Dash back in triple figures, okay, it's got more upside room available is what I think could very easily be the case, I guess, another way of putting it. Because it's got to at least get above it. But if it can get above it, hold above it, or even just these things can have great moves. You see, it gets above the 18 average of highs here at like 525, and again, it gets to 4 figures. That's just crazy stuff. And we'll conclude this within Bitcoin Cash A, BCHA. This is what the free coins that I got on Binance. Maybe I should go on there. I still got to withdraw my BCH normally because every time I check it, a lot of the wallets have been offline. And I haven't checked even today yet. I just wanted to manage what Bitcoin Cash Trades is going to do before I was going to make any withdrawals. So I do that because I sent all my BCH over to Binance, got the coins, sold some of these coins, and I'm just doing whatever with the free bets. I would have had a seller just hit around 25, and I got probably sell around 27 and then 29. A bunch of other sellers moving forward after that. But breaking out above the 18 average of highs on the 15-minute term. When these things come in, you get big volatility. 29, like $30 on the low end of this range, 22 in the middle. So you take the difference of the two numbers. That's like 8 from 22. Well, 2.2 is 10%. So you're like 35% volatility. So anyway, thank you for tuning into the video and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.